We've got the Chevrolet Traverse and it got a refresh.
This one surprised me. Chevrolet Traverse. Sounds good. What's under the hood, Andrea?
A 3.6-liter V6 with a 9-speed automatic transmission, 310 horsepower, 266 pound-feet of torque. Standard all-wheel drive in Canada. In the US, you have both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options.
Look at Andrea and I both wearing RS red, huh? Matching the car, matchy-matchy. And we're going to get matching bowling jackets one day, don't you think, Andrea?
I'm not, no. I'll pass.
All right, this thing's big and it comes with a lot of stuff. What are the key standard features?
The base trim comes with a 7-inch touchscreen, a 3.5-inch driver information display, wireless Apple Carplay and Android Auto, 8-way power driver seat, a manual passenger seat, cloth upholstery, 8-passenger seating, keyless open and start, a manual liftgate, a spare tire, 18-inch wheels, and Chevy Safety Assist.
Chevrolet is one of those few brands that lets you decide whether you want to go two-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And what are we going to put it in?
Well, we're going to put it in S for subscribe. And if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
Another one we put out on Saturday.
So make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell. That's important. But also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to get a sneak peek what's going on behind the scenes. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below. This video is brought to you by Canada Drives. Shop online for your next used vehicle and enjoy the convenience of to-your-door delivery and the confidence of a 7-day love it or return it guarantee. Visit canadadrives.ca to learn more.
I really like how this Traverse handles. The steering is light, which makes it easy to maneuver in and out of traffic. The turning radius is very good, and there is never a lack of power from this V6 engine.
This surprised me. It's been a lot of years since I've driven a Chevrolet Traverse, and I got to tell you, every single time I drive it, I come out of it and I go, I really like this. It's got, as Andrea mentioned, the right amount of power. But for me, I've been talking about this over a few videos. Chevrolet and General Motors does a particularly good job with their suspension calibration. It's a really wide spectrum of potential buyers. It's smooth and comfortable, but it also gives you enough feedback that you have connectivity to the road. They do a really good job with making it comfortable and quiet too.
Yeah, I noticed that on the Chevy Equinox that we reviewed. It was the same thing. It has a very compliant suspension, and it keeps the cabin quiet. I'm surprised by how quiet this cabin is.
And there's no squeaks or rattles. It feels like a solid, well put together vehicle as well.
Some changes to the exterior for 2022 include a new grille, a new front fascia, redesigned headlamps. In the rear, you've got new LED taillights, and there's also new wheel designs. What do you think about the look of it, Zach?
I like it from the back the best. I think they did a really good job, and the tail lamps from a distance kind of have a bit of a Jeep vibe to them. I'm okay with that. I think it's a nice looking vehicle. And the one thing is that sharp crease that goes down the entire length of the vehicle is similar to the full-size body-on-frame SUVs. And in those vehicles, that's my favorite thing. So they do have a strong Chevrolet look. And RS, they've been pushing, I don't know if you've seen any ads on TV, RS for Chevrolet, they're pushing it all the time. But it really, in this one and all of their other vehicles, just appearance package, right?
Yes, it has black accents throughout the exterior, black roof rails, black 20-inch wheels, the RS badging, and it carries on through to the interior where you will see some red stitching inside the cabin.
So General Motors, in my opinion, does a very good job with functionality on their interiors. However, they don't have much in the way of pizzazz unless you're getting like a Cadillac, for example. So this works really well. It just, because it's all black, it doesn't do it any favors.
I don't know if it's just about it being all black or it just being a lot of hard plastic in here. I don't think that it's keeping up with the competition in any way. In the interior, I agree with you, Zach. It's very well organized. There's lots of storage. The infotainment system is so easy to use.
Really easy.
But I think that they need to do more, and I look forward to a remodel one day where I think that they can step it up. It is a comfortable interior, though.
Oh yeah, very comfortable.
Yeah.
But they certainly could go with bigger screens, a full digital instrument cluster. They don't have that here.
No.
But the analog look and layout of the dashboard is very welcome. You know what this has that a lot of the competition doesn't have? I don't know if you've seen this, Andrea. Look.
What's that, Zach? Oh, wow.
Well, you never knew about that, did you?
No, I didn't.
That's
What
a secret
trick.
compartment. You can put something valuable in there,
Yeah.
your sunglasses or your phone or something, and
Smart.
keep it out of the way. Huh?
Yeah, a good little storage unit in there.
Okay, you can do a
Behind
magic
the
trick.
screen.
Magic trick.
Very good. Good idea, Chevy.
Wait a second. What's that? Good idea, Chevy. All right, yeah, the comfort. All right, let's get into what do you think is the best value trim? Because this RS, it's over $50,000
Yeah.
and it's starting to compete with some pretty heavyweights in this category. So what do you think?
In Canada, it's the true north for just over $49,000. That's where you get the 20-inch wheels, the wireless charger, power passenger and driver seat memory, the sunroof, captain's chairs.
And a big one, and why I think this one is a must-have, heated steering wheel for the Canadian market. You could put your lumberjack shirt on and have warm hands.
You can go with the lower trim, the LT, for less money at that $43,000 starting point, but you're just not getting enough features in my opinion. But if you want more of a stripped down version, well, it is affordable. In the US, it's the LT cloth trim for $40,000, or if you want to spend a little bit extra, $1,900, get the LT leather trim. And you get a lot of features that I think that overall you would be pretty happy with.
So another reason why I'm really impressed with this vehicle is it is big. You look at the second row, the floor is perfectly flat, easy for kids to get in and out of. And then when you get in, an enormous amount of legroom and headroom, plus these seats, they slide fore and aft and they recline. There's a ton of room in the second row.
And you can get a bench seat if you like, so it's an 8-passenger vehicle, or of course the captain's chairs, depending on the trim that you choose.
And you do have to slide the second row forward to make more room for the third row, and getting in isn't tough. And you know what, as an adult I can sit back there. Wouldn't be my choice, it's definitely for kids, but it certainly is roomy.
The top trim does offer a power folding third row, so if that's something that you really need and want, you've got to move up to that top trim. Carry on in a cooler fit grade. It offers 22.9 cubic feet of space behind the third row, which is best in class, and also overall 98.2 cubic feet of overall cargo space.
Behind the third row, under the floor, is a huge tray to store even more stuff. So this thing's big, it carries a lot of stuff. Actually, space on the inside and how it compares to other vehicles is coming up in our questions.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Love the reviews you guys do. For people in the market for a 3-row SUV, would you say this is a more affordable version of the Tahoe, given the cargo space behind the third row is about the same? Do you think it checks off most of the boxes that the Tahoe does? Absolutely. This is much more affordable with a lower starting price point of under $40,000 Canadian, whereas the Tahoe is just under $60,000. And I think that this is comfortable and spacious. The Tahoe is wider, longer, taller. I like this.
So if you're just moving people around and you want to be comfortable, this will do the job all day long, and it's way less expensive. And to your point, there's loads of cargo area behind the third row when it's up. What this doesn't offer, and what that vehicle has, is a capability to tow, to go more off-road areas, and it's a real body-on-frame traditional SUV. So if you're towing a boat or something like that, that would be the one you want.
Yeah, and I find that this one is actually easier to maneuver in the city because it's not as wide or as long. This is a great choice.
And getting in and out is easier. It's lower to the ground. It's more car-like. I'm really impressed with it, actually.
Does this come with CarPlay wired or wireless on the small screen?
Can I just say one thing before you get into that?
Yeah.
General Motors has been a leader in the connectivity space for many, many years.
Yeah.
So all of their vehicles, we're not into Apple and Android yet, are equipped with OnStar.
Yeah.
They're telematics systems, so if you get in a crash or something, you can get hold of somebody. They all come with a wireless hotspot, so kids, if you have a SIM card for the car, can connect their devices to the vehicle, and then you get into Apple and Android.
Yeah, and that 7-inch touchscreen does come with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's actually new to this year as a standard feature, and then of course the 8-inch touchscreen gets it as well. We put out a lot of content each week on the Motormouth YouTube channel, and it's so easy to find.
All you need to do is go to the YouTube search bar and type in Motormouth, the name of the channel, then the brand you're looking for. In this case, it's Chevrolet, and then all of our videos will pop up. It's that easy.
How would this compare to the Kia Telluride or Hyundai Palisade? Being a South African immigrant, I'm not familiar with Chevrolet as a brand. Well, let's talk about the brand first. It actually gets great reliability and quality scores for this Traverse.
Can I just say generally, and I've been talking about this, the General Motors brands, Chevrolet,
Yeah.
Buick and Cadillac all score above average, and they have for several years. So when people say Chevy and GM makes crappy cars, they really don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes they think, oh, it's American made, it doesn't get a great reliability score. It does. Here's the thing about the Hyundai Palisade and the Kia Telluride. Both great products, beautiful interiors, especially the refresh models for 2023. This does not keep up with them interior-wise
in
at
any way.
all. No.
Yeah.
However, on the lower trims, this is more affordable than those two vehicles. It's when you get up higher that you kind of say to yourself, am I really going to get this Traverse for $60,000, or am I going to get a fully loaded Palisade or Telluride for a couple $1,000s less?
I will say in the favor of this vehicle for the interior, it's so simply laid out.
Yeah.
Everything is exactly where it should be. There's no real computers you got to go in. There's lots of buttons and switches, traditional shifter. Everything is very simple. It appeals to me. It's just the materials and the way it's put together is not at their level. Back to the point Andrea just made. If you can keep the price down on this, you do well. One other thing we should mention, Telluride and Palisade are two of the biggest in this class. This one is bigger.
The Telluride and Palisade offer more front row legroom as well as second row, but it's the Traverse that has more third row legroom, and it really shines when it comes to overall cargo capacity and space behind the third row, which is always such a premium, isn't it, for a third row SUV? That's where you lose a lot of your space.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
Should anyone pick this or go for a minivan? Will there be a hybrid power plant for this model in the future? Love your reviews. Thank you.
This is absolutely a minivan replacement. You have seen the march towards large, mid-sized, three-row SUVs in popularity and the decline of minivans, and they kind of go lockstep. People look at these as people movers, and they just don't like the idea of a minivan, which is too bad because they're great vehicles.
And this is coming in less than a minivan with a starting price point of under $40,000, whereas the Toyota Sienna starts at just over $44,000 Canadian, and the Honda Odyssey over $45,000. The Kia Carnival would be your least expensive. Fully loaded, it's around $46,000 Canadian, so that would really be your best bet, but only front-wheel drive.
Yeah, and most of them are front-wheel drive. You have some exceptions like the Toyota, but the interesting thing is to get all-wheel drive in this is less expensive than the Honda and the Toyota, and you have more capability. This can tow 5,000 pounds, so it offers a lot. Not as easy to get in and out of as a minivan, but you know, I get it. I understand why people would rather have this parked in front of their house than a minivan.
For sure. And for EVs, what is going to be happening with the Traverse? Well, there are reports, nothing confirmed from GM, that there is going to be a new Traverse in 2025. Could have a plug-in option, but more than likely it will be a pure EV.
Yeah, because next for GM is the Chevy Equinox Pure EV is coming out next year. It makes sense. They're going to get that same platform and scale it up to bigger vehicles.
Yeah. There's lots of competition out there and some good ones. Let's see what else you can buy.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Kia Telluride with a 3.8-liter V6 engine, 291 horsepower, and a starting price of just under $47,000.
The Korean cousin to that vehicle is the Hyundai Palisade with the same powertrain but a lower starting price at $43,500.
The Volkswagen Atlas has a 3.6-liter V6 with 276 horsepower and a starting price of just over $48,000.
Here's our used car alternative from CanadaDrives.ca. We chose a 2019 Dodge Durango RT with the 5.7-liter Hemi, just under 93,000 kilometers for $49,590. Click on the link or the description below to find more vehicles in this category from CanadaDrives.ca.
So there are 4 mid-sized 3-row SUVs for you to consider.
So this is a big vehicle. You're probably wondering about fuel economy, towing capacity, and all that. Let's get into it with our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. The LS front-wheel drive model in the U.S. starts at just under $34,000. The all-wheel drive model in Canada is just under $39,500 and just over $35,500 in the U.S. J.D. Power gives the Traverse a quality and reliability score of 82 out of 100. CarEdge states the Traverse will retain 44% of its value after 5 years.
Here's the fuel economy: 13.6 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 9.6 on the highway. That's 18 miles per gallon city, 27 miles per gallon highway. The Traverse can tow 5,000 pounds, and Chevrolet offers a warranty of 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles. Lightning round: 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I really like how comfortable this is and how well it handles.
I'm continually impressed by Chevrolet's quality scores.
I would like to see a lot less hard plastic in here.
I'm with Andrea. The interior is simple. I like that, but maybe a little too simple for some.
Comfortable, spacious, and an affordable family hauler.
This one surprised me. If you keep the price down and you need to move a lot of people, this one might be your rig.
This video is brought to you by Canada Drives. Shop online for your next used vehicle and enjoy the convenience of to-your-door delivery and the confidence of a 7-day love it or return it guarantee. Visit CanadaDrives.ca to learn more.